This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate,
where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
My name is Monty Moore with Realty One Group Music City.
Hi, and I'm Carrie Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
Every week we'll be posting a new episode chock full of Nashville real estate value.
Yes, and you can follow along and subscribe at talkmusiccity.com.
Got a question for us? Ask away. Questions at talkmusiccity.com. That's questions at talkmusiccity.com.
Money.
Carrie Ann, Jason, how are you, sir?
I'm good.
Welcome back.
Now, when are you going to get him a shirt?
Shirt? I got you a shirt. You're not even wearing the damn shirt.
I had to go get my own.
Thank you, Jason. We got Jason Hoover in the house. And we've got a guest here.
We're
going to introduce in a minute here, but let me just say this. Our guest came into our office, I don't know, about 4 months ago, I guess, originally. And I'm serious when I say I've never had somebody cold walk in and connect on such a high level of, it's like he read my mail. It's like he knew my heart. He knew my intention. He knew that.
Did you read his mail?
He suddenly, he started talking about bringing the essence of who we are to the real estate population out there. And anyhow, we've been talking ever since. And as you know, he came to the get together. We had our first meet up Monday at the Berry Hill office last night. And
what a gorgeous office.
Yeah, had about 100 people show up, something like that. It was great. But anyhow, we'll be introducing this guy in a minute. But first of all, we're going to talk about our awesome sponsor.
Yes, Music City Removal. They are the #1 junk removal service in Nashville from residential, commercial, and construction. They're experts in ridding you of junk. Their costs include labor and dumping fees without any hidden or added expenses. Whether you need a full clean out or just one item removed, they have you covered.
The Music City Removal team knows the importance of respect and trust while in someone else's home. They understand the inconvenience of junk while left behind by previous homeowners and tenants and are determined to provide an affordable, customer-focused junk removal service that puts you first. For a free on-site estimate, just go to musiccityremoval.com. That's musiccityremoval.com.
Yes, Music City Removal, because clutter ain't cute.
So you must be sitting on the edge of your seat by now, Carrie Ann, wondering who is this amazing guy sitting next to you?
I know.
They came in and read my mail. I'm serious when I say this. We clown around a lot here, but it's bugged me ever since that first visit because I think, man, I got to get him in this organization. I've got to get him, promoting who we are because I've never heard anybody talk about
who is he?
Becoming the essence. Let me share just a couple of sentences here. The founder of Social by Society, a social media agency here in Nashville, an avid student of online influence, Danny Valdez. He worked behind the scenes for the health and lifestyle brand Trim Healthy Mama before going on to host the Trim Healthy podcast, which became the #1 health podcast of 2018. That's pretty significant.
Wow. Impressive.
With over 300,000 downloads per week, his company, Social by Society, provides boutique social content and coaches businesses how to show up on social media and not be lame.
Ooh, we don't know.
You don't want to be lame, do you?
Welcome, Danny.
Danny Valdez. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Guys. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited that he's here. This is a fun topic for sure.
I'm beyond pumped.
We all know the importance, especially in our world and your world, how important social media is, and so Danny's gonna pull the veil back and share with some nuggets here from the grand poobah of what people who really know what they're doing in that arena, right, Danny?
Yeah. Well, I brought some beautiful things for you today.
Okay.
Some thoughts on social media, and nothing exhaustive. Honestly, when it comes to social media and the intelligence behind it, why it works, why it doesn't, you could fill volumes. You could write a lot. So I didn't bring all of it. I brought some
good
tips.
thing, because we're only on for about 24 more minutes.
Yeah. But I think you share, to be here, you've got to be an expert. What's your saying? Go ahead, do your thing. Do your thing. That thing you do.
We have a belief here that before anyone can ever believe the message, they first must believe the messenger. So let's talk about who you are, okay? I mean, how'd you get to this point where you are suddenly one of the local authorities? And you built a following of downloads per week of 300,000. That's pretty significant, man.
Yeah. And it's
so tell us about you.
Sure. Those numbers are not obviously all my doing. I have to give most of that credit to Serene and Pearl, who are the authors of the book Trim Healthy Mama. Oh, wow. And they launched a book that basically, when followed, ends dieting in your life. Wow. So if you want to just maintain a healthy lifestyle of eating all the foods the earth provides, that's what that book was about. But it just launched. I mean, it went huge. And it went viral because of word of mouth. Wow. Like people sharing this book and sharing it all on social media. Mm-hmm. The whole company and success of it was built on social media. Wow. And so I think
what's it called again so the listeners can dial into this?
Yeah, so it's the brand is called Trim Healthy Mama.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the podcast is called the Trim Healthy Podcast.
Love it.
And it's a riot. It's an absolute riot.
So fun.
Yeah.
So you have many years have been doing the social media?
Yeah. So, where do we begin? Here's the deal. Here's the dilly. I was a carpenter for probably most of my career.
Okay.
Hating my life. Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, I liked it at first, but then at the winter after winter of like freezing on scaffolding, 4 million feet in the air, hanging crown molding on the outside of, some country building, it just started to wear on a brother.
Oh, sure.
Man,
you know what I mean? So I was at a point of reinvention in my life and asking like what am I uniquely gifted to do? What should I be doing here? Other people can build better than me. Mm-hmm. Yet there I am making nothing. And why? And I got 4 kids.
Wow.
So I was at a real place of reinvention, and I really got in touch with my childhood desire to be an entertainer, to be an actor, pursue the entertainment industry. Mm-hmm. And so as I started doing that, my old friends, who now are what we know of the Trim Healthy Mamas, knew of my ambition and said, well, we want to get into entertainment, podcasting. They're already on TV, on all these morning shows. And they said, would you come and be a part of that? And just because we always hit it off and had magical conversations together. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, absolutely. And so at first I worked behind the scenes in this basically content company, because they had a book and they have food products for sale on a website, but how do people ever find out about that?
Right. So
the company was more than a food company. They were really a content company. They were creating content all week long. It was some brilliant, I won't name names, but there are some brilliant people behind the scenes there that I started to sort of learn from and really get into the essence of what it is that causes people to engage and connect and then ultimately buy. I started just drinking that in and then being a part of designing that content and then being a personality and being that content, hosting the podcast. And so while I'm doing that, I'm posting for years on social media, just sort of showcasing that. I'm launching my book, which I wrote. Meanwhile, in California, my now business partner is paying attention. Mm-hmm. This is one of the things I'm going to talk about with social media is you can go years and think you're wasting your time, right? So this guy's watching my life. I'm watching him on social media. We're dreaming of doing something together. We don't know that.
Oh, at the time, right.
Right. But I'm like, man, that would be dope to work with him. And he's thinking the same thing. Like this guy's we called it at the time influencer. Now that's sort of like, don't be an influencer. But a person of influence, we want to be. And so we watched each other's career for long enough, and him and I made this baby called Social by Society. He was a marketing guy who was behind the scenes of the launch of the book called The Shack, if you've heard of that. He helped with that. There's a long orange-haired comedian on YouTube named JP Sears. Hilarious. He's sort of makes fun of the whole like vegan culture. He is a vegan, but he sort of takes it lightly, and he shows the loopholes in their theology, if you will. Really funny guy. My partner helped design a lot of his online courses and was marketing behind the scenes for him. So we got together and we were like, we can bring such a cool thing to local businesses, because we were watching local businesses market on social media, which we felt was the wrong thing to do. So that's how Social by Society came to be. We wanted to help people, businesses create community and culture and use their personalities to influence rather than come, buy here, pay now, there's a discount, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Well, I'm excited to hear because, our audience is mostly real estate agents. And so I can't wait to hear all that you can share with our audience or our community out there about how, you can help them sell without selling.
Yeah.
Through social media.
Well, I brought 3 fantastic ways to do just that.
Oh.
The title of my message here today is 3 things realtors can do today to rock their social media. Subtitle, and get actual referrals from it.
Love it.
Because that's what literally every agent I've ever met is like, I just want to get referral. I want to get leads.
Right.
And can I use my social media to do that?
Right.
And often they race out at basically asking directly for referrals, which is the opposite of what you want to do.
Right. Now, when you talk about social media, there's many different platforms. What is your most favorite, or what would you say should be the one that is the most favorite for a real estate agent?
Sure. For real estate agents, I'm going to have to give it. Now, there's a little disclaimer here because some of these platforms are sort of age appropriate. Facebook seems to cater to a little bit older crowd, Instagram a little bit younger crowd, but that's changing. So I would say that was probably a more relevant thing to say maybe even 5 years ago.
Okay.
Right.
So now that, quote, older crowd is coming to Instagram.
Because Trump made Instagram more, or to us tweets, wasn't it? Twitter.
Yes. Yes, honey.
So I would say that for a real estate agent, Instagram is going to be a really cool platform.
Okay.
Because Instagram started to sort of not be the place for debate, for argument. It was a place to see beautiful pictures. It was a place it was photography heavy. So photographers went nuts over Instagram.
Sure.
And if you think about another platform like Pinterest, people are on there because they want to see and be inspired. And so Instagram is a place that people can see and be inspired without having to get into debate or hear a bunch of just scroll after scroll of people's opinion.
Sure. Right.
Everybody, all of their friends and family are experts, and it's a little nauseating. So Instagram, I think for real estate agents, is really attractive because, you can showcase beautiful homes, architecture, without opinion. It's just beauty, and people can latch onto that and love that for its own sake. And that's really, I think, the heart, at least one of the big missing elements I see with a lot of agents is they're passionate about closing deals. They're not passionate about real estate. They're not passionate about the home and what it represents, what it means to a family, what a kitchen means to a cook. I know.
Are you picking up what he's putting down here? This is gold. This is gold. I've said, after 37 years of doing this, I've always said, I don't know that I've ever sold a home. I think the home should be selling itself. So my belief is that what you're talking about there is that home should be demonstrated at a point where it's selling itself. Yeah.
Yeah. And I always go back to that phrase, essence on display. I think an agent, if they're listing a house, they need to get into the essence of what this house represents, the location it's in, what that location represents, what the layout is conducive for, what it's not conducive for. There's actually more than location. And I think that's been the easy button for so many agents. Right. So, I think, when we dig into some of these points of what are the 3 things an agent can do today? Right. That's really, it's going to center around all of it's going to center around getting into the essence of what these things actually do, the outcome of these things. Shall I begin?
Yes.
Please. We're all, I know that Jason is beyond himself right now. Anxious anticipation.
I'm excited.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Look at all the notes I'm already writing. I'm already writing lots of notes.
She's taking notes. I feel a little like, somebody's writing things. I need to really weigh my words. I'm so used to just riffing, and it's like.
Yeah, but I love when I write down good words. How you've said multiple good words.
Yes,
that's a good word. Like that. Right? Oh, that's a good word. That's so good. So good.
All right. So the first thing I think, and these are in no particular order, but the first thing I want to share that you can do as a real estate agent on your social media, be the host.
Yes.
Okay.
Be the
Be
host.
comfortable being the host. It's
Yes.
so hard. So many people aren't comfortable in their own skin to be that, right?
Yeah, but you can't.
Hard.
You don't have the privilege of saying that's not me.
Yeah.
Well, that's just not me. It's like, wait, you're in the real estate game.
Right.
You
Right.
are a host
You
by
don't have
nature.
the privilege of saying no to that.
No, you are a host whether you like it or not.
Not if you're going to really bring value to that consumer.
Absolutely. So, the host, what
Or
is
hostess.
hostess?
Same difference.
Yeah, I mean it. Nowadays people are saying actor to mean both,
Okay. Host means both. There you go.
which I love the beautiful S.
Yes.
I'm not an actress, I'm an actor. I'm like, yeah, but dress. Like that's a beautiful.
Yeah. I'm a
I love
lioness.
it. It's beautiful. Yeah, lioness. Like, so when I say be the host, right? Like, I've interviewed lots of people. Lot more interviews.
You've got some pretty big guns on your wall too.
Interviewed a lot of A-list celebrities.
Yeah.
And when you interview people, you're presenting them. And when I'm interviewing somebody, it's not, I don't want this big spotlight to be on me, and sometimes you see that with a lot of agents is like, they're the superstar. But when I'm interviewing somebody, I want to say, and with us today is Jason, who's written this book and he's changed the world this way and he's accomplished that and people trust him as an expert in this. I am presenting him in a beautiful way, and it's my job, because a lot of these celebrities are people that do amazing things. They're not great at presenting themselves. So the host becomes important.
Sure.
And I think real estate's the same way. Not only are you going to present your home as the celebrity, the great thing to be admired, but also when it comes to your social media, I think you should be the host of your city. Why shouldn't you be the one to know where the best restaurants are? Why shouldn't you be the one to know where the dog parks are, where to get a great cocktail and how late they're open? Like if I can see you as the agent who has the key to the city, you don't need to sell me anything. When the time is right, when it's time to list my house or when it's time to find that perfect property, I've been watching you month in and month out take me to all of the hot spots.
Because you've been bringing them value.
Exactly, yeah. So, and that's at its core, that's content marketing. You've given for free for years and years. You've asked nothing in return. And so many, being the host is all about really showing up and giving, rather than what I see so many do on their social media is they're always taking. They've come to take. They've come to be affirmed. They've come to be liked. They've come to get something from people. But I think to be the host, showcase your city, take people to all the beautiful places, and think of how you can just and really, not to be overly deep or cheese whiz here, but the greatest of all this is love. Like you're really loving people. You need to show up and love and give on your social media. So that's number one. Be the host.
Oh, good.
Like that.
Yeah. Like check this out. Like if you're going out to eat, you go to Pinewood Social Club. You guys been there? Oh my goodness. Pinewood Social Club. I was about to say, it's got a bowling alley. So Pinewood Social Club.
Are we old? Where's
this at?
It's this swanky place in Nashville. I forget what part. But it's just a cool place, and it's all about like
My First Avenue.
First Ave, yeah. Like everybody's in there like dressed up, like in a suit. Cool bowling alley in the back, which you have to get in line in hours at a time to ever get because it's small. But if you're already out to eat somewhere cool, whip that cell phone out. This is what I mean by be the host. Like you're already there. It doesn't take you. You're not even going out of your way to create content at this point. Just get your cell phone out and be like, guys, the wine here at Pinewood Social, or this art wall installation they did will blow your mind. You should totally get up here. Little things like that, just as you go. That's something you can do. You don't have to buy expensive camera gear to do that. You can use your cell phone. You need a modern cell phone with a good camera. If you're a real estate agent, just make it happen, Captain. I mean, get a good cell phone.
Right.
So everywhere you go, you kind of take on this identity of a host. You're the one that brings people all the special places in your city.
So with that, do you say, hey, this is with your branding, your name, et cetera, and you go into it? Do you have a beginning with any time you get on film?
Yeah. So do you mean in terms
hey,
of...
this is Danny,
Oh, yeah.
thing?
No, because I'm already following you. So I know who you are.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now YouTube may be a little bit different. I would say if you do heavy YouTube content, which some of our clients do, then hey guys, so-and-so here with so-and-so Realty, that's acceptable because it's a show. YouTube's more of a show, whereas Instagram has show elements, Facebook has show elements, but at its core, it's not a show. It's a place for people to hang out and connect with their friends. So I would say I would do that almost not at all on those platforms.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, because we already know who you are and we already love you. We're following you. Just, hey guys, just want to tell you this, like right into it. Because again, people are scrolling.
Then the assumption is that you are part of that family then, or part of that.
That's it.
Connected to.
And they're going to see your name, I guess, right? Because it's at the top.
Your name comes up. Yeah.
So you have that entertainer spirit.
Yeah.
I as well. For those folks that don't have that, and it comes a little bit more natural for one, what would you share with the person that is scared to death listening to you actually right now?
Yeah, totally. And I know they're out there.
Yeah.
Well, one.
You want me to do what? You want me to be a host?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And
you want me to get my cell phone out and talk about wine? What?
Right. Well, I think everyone, can take the essence of that host identity and try to adopt a style that is more natural to your personality. Sure. But at the same time, I would challenge them to get out of their box a little bit. And the only reason you're not the entertainer is because years ago you decided you weren't.
Sure.
Years ago I decided I was. I mean, years ago I was a carpenter entertaining no one. Now I'm an entertainer. Now I have casting directors requesting me by name. And that's because of Reinvention. So
I wrote that word down. Actually, that was on the list.
Well, I think for a real estate agent, one of the most powerful books I've ever, maybe the most powerful book I've ever read. It's called The Last Word on Power, and it just rocked my whole world to its core. And it's an old book, but it was written to CEOs and corporate executives who needed to make the impossible happen. That's the subtitle. And I was thinking, I need to make the impossible happen. I am.
The time is now, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And no one's going to do it for me. I had to stop, by the way, edit this out if you hate it. I had to stop for me believing in destiny because I was waiting for destiny to come for me and make me wealthy and all my dreams come true. I was waiting on this call to happen because it's going to happen. It's written in stone. I had to take ownership, so that was part of, for me, Reinvention.
Taking ownership of the outcome. Amen.
Absolutely. And part of taking ownership was I cannot be complacent and accept that, well, that's just not my personality. That's just not how I do things, or that's not me. Me is all made up.
So what do you got for number two?
Number two, if number one.
Are you picking up these nuggets?
I'm writing them down, actually. I'm an executor. I'm going to start right
Nuggets
after.
are being dropped, people.
I mean, they are.
Just wait for the host with the most about to
Jim, I told you like this guy.
I love it.
He's amazing.
All right, so be the host is number one. Number two is keep it real.
Keep it real.
Keep it real. And this is such a big point I would love to share. Social media is a real relationship. And it works or it fails the same way a real relationship works or fails.
Wow, that's deep. Holy cow.
As long as you're treating...
I think my brain just blew up.
As long as you're treating...
I think you got a little wider, though.
As long as you're looking at it like a marketing platform, you're going to treat it like this sterile thing to be, invested in or to be worked. Now we're going to get all concerned about the algorithms and the best times to post. By the way, with our company, Social by Society, we do work that stuff. We pay attention to that stuff. None of that matters though, if you're not keeping it real.
Right.
So we've turned down clients because they're like, yeah, we want the guy who analyzes the reports and prints out the ROI and all that. I'm like, dude, you don't even need that when you keep it real, when you show up in an authentic, credible, vulnerable way. So, so it's a real relationship.
Real like more live videos? When you say be real, what are you sharing? What are you saying?
Well, for example, I invite you to my party, right? We're having a party. You're at my house. There's a pool. I'm going to paint my dreams real quick. There's a pool. Kanye's there. He's rapping.
Is he president?
He's by now he's already been president in this alternate reality. Kanye made it. And it's this killer party.
Okay.
And I invite my real estate agent friends, right? And they come in and they show up and they're like, "What's up, everybody?" And they start handing out these sheets of paper. And on these sheets of paper, it says, list 5 people you know that need my services. After I vomit and kick you out of my party,
Right.
Sure.
you will never be invited to another one of my parties.
Right.
Because you've come to the party wrong.
Right.
You've
You've come to take rather than
Did you bring me a hostess gift? That's
Yeah.
what I would say. Where's my gift?
Yeah. You have come to take things from
Right.
me and my guests and get something out of this party. But what if you showed up dressed to the nines, coming in on point, right? Being interesting, being cool to talk to, being somebody who's not like posturing or trying to get something or trying to be something, just like, what's up? Let's talk, and sometimes that might be pairing off with just 2 people and you actually don't see everyone at the party. You know what I mean? So, showing up to a party cool and authentic and the real you in a way, like I would rather, like, instead of seeing, for example, I'll see, and dude, I am not going to caca on anything agents are currently doing. Like some of the stuff I'm talking about and I'm going to share, I don't mean it to be offensive or to say like, you're doing it wrong or shame on you or you're an idiot. So,
Sure.
so don't hear that. I just get excited. And in my excitement, I hope I don't hurt my brother.
Dude, it's all
No,
good.
you're
It's all
good.
good. I'm
But-
Hey, but
limping.
if you
I'm
don't
starting to
tell-
limp over here.
If you
but
don't
it's all
tell
right.
us, though, we'll continue to do it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, okay. So for
You had
example,
me at caca, by the way.
I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
I didn't write that one down because I don't know if I could say it again.
It's PG, right? It's PG podcast. So I just heard a scream sound effect. Is that from the producer? Hit me again.
I love it.
So like, what I'm saying is real estate agents are often, they're like borderlining, sometimes feeling like multi-level marketing people.
Mm-hmm.
You know that feeling of your friend when they get excited about their new multi-level marketing business,
Right.
and you're like, oh, here they come,
Yeah.
hitting me with that.
Yeah.
You'll never be the same again once you taste this product.
Right.
Like, again, dude, I'm not pooping on anybody, but what I'm saying is, another example can be, and these things are good and have their place. Okay. But let's say a market data report. I've seen agent friends of mine share a market data report
On social media.
on social media.
Okay.
And that might be valuable if you have investors who follow you. And not that they may even click on it. They're not, by the way. They're not clicking on your report. But what it could do by sharing a market data report could make them go, this real estate person is now a resource for market data. So when it comes time for me to invest, they might see you that way,
Okay.
and reach out to you in the future. So it's not that those things are wrong. It's that,
You're branded that way?
well, you
possibly?
can be, but it's the hard sell. And we want to do 90% social, 10% hard sell, maybe 99% social, 1% hard sell.
So what else do you see out there?
So a market data report is something that I think a lot of agents do it because they saw another agent do it.
Yeah.
I think another thing, I hope your people don't hate me, but like another thing that I think should happen, but not as often as as a lot of you guys out there are doing it, is that standing next to the sold sign with your client. I'm sorry. I love it. You should do it. Okay. I'm not saying
No,
don't do
dude,
it.
be real, okay?
I'm not
Just
saying
be
don't
real.
do it. You should definitely do it, but we often are doing it because we saw somebody do it. And so what I want to save you from is, because we're under number 2, be real. I want to save you from becoming a low volume in a sea of people doing all of the same stuff. Instead of a market report, or after your market report, let me be more fair, because you should share your market report. And after the sold sign, because you should celebrate wins for your clients. After that, I want to see you in your bathrobe. I want to see you with a towel on your head. Like, guys, this shower you ever have a shower revelation? Now you're holding your cell phone up, right? You're holding yourself
She's
up.
going to do this now. You wait and see.
I demand it.
Shower
So I'm sure with her towel on her head, she's still an amazing looking lady.
Look, I have a magnet now. There's a magnet right here on the back of my cell phone case, and there's a suction cup thing on the tile in my shower, and it's where the water can't get to it, and this lives there.
Jason's concerned, actually.
Yeah.
Not for the video camera, guys. Sorry.
Where is this podcast going?
I've got a magnet on the back of mine too, but there's nothing in the shower. I promise you that.
Well, not only is it to soundtrack my chill ambient vibes while I'm showering in my perfectly ambiently lit shower with white tile with black grout, magical shower. But it's also when I get these shower revelations, to be able.
I get it. I get those revelations.
Yeah, I got to jot them down then. Or
No place
gone.
to write in there at all.
So I use my
try
phone.
to write in the glass.
Oh, okay. So you got a night. That's like 2:00 in the morning when I wake up in the middle of the night and I have that idea.
That's it.
Is that what you're talking about?
That's it. So whenever that moment is for you.
But we do have
moment,
a sign in ours that does say right over the toilet, please stay seated for the entire performance.
I love that, actually. Okay. You want to point that camera at you. And this is just an example. Watch like hundreds of agents now. I guess they're listening. Like all of a sudden, that's the new content. Everybody's in their robe now. It's not technically what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to make the point that that's an example of an authentic, vulnerable moment.
Or it becomes that weird Christmas movie with the guy with the hat and the robe. Chris Walls. Yeah. Then it becomes that.
Yeah. But
Keep going.
It's that authentic, in the moment, time to share now and take people, BTS, #BTS, behind the scenes of my day. And hey guys, dude, this just hit me in the shower. I've never thought about this. But have you ever, and here's a sort of an intelligence thing to bake in, questions. Have you ever thought about XYZ? Have you, or am I crazy? Engaging community. Because this is what you do to a friend that you'd call your bestie, right? Dude, I was just thinking about this, man. Am I crazy? What do you, treat your social media. This is number 2, keeping it real. Treat your social media like it's a real person. In fact, if you need to picture a real person, picture one person. In fact,
like you're speaking in front of a crowd, you're honing in on one person.
On one person, yeah. And this is what we do. So when I first went down the entertainment track and got into this podcast, we had a coach from LA, a guy named Randy Lane. He's brilliant. He coached Ryan Seacrest, Jimmy Fallon, or Kimmel. I don't know, one of the Jimmys. Laundry list of high profile, high level hosts. And there's a lot of way more intelligence than I would ever imagine baked into why they do what they do. And one of the biggest things he downloaded was that when you're speaking into that mic, or you're looking into a camera, or you're engaging people through media, you are speaking to one person, and they're a real person, and they may not know your history, so or they might be your best friend, but you're talking to one person, and you're being really real with them. You're being because at the end of the day, the reason we got to keep it real is if you don't build trust with a person in real life, they'll buy nothing from you. If your best friend is a real estate agent, it doesn't matter how much marketing material you get from all the agents online. It doesn't matter. They could take you out to eat, send you to Jamaica. Your best friend or your brother or your mom is an agent. They're getting your business because you have a legacy of trust built.
I don't know, Jamaica?
When I said Jamaica, I thought it. I was like, I just said, yeah, maybe Jamaica.
So let's go back to me now thinking you're creepy in a bathrobe.
Good. I like this. I like this feel. Yeah.
Right. So I'm like,
you've been pretty vulnerable on social media.
Yeah, I'm not in no bathrobe.
But you do working out and stuff like that.
Doing your burpees and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I get the concept, but all of a sudden, let's keep it covered, type of thing. I see this whole vision of,
Gets more audience when you don't keep it covered.
I mean, your suit coat's just a bathrobe made out of fancy material.
Okay, there you go.
You know what I mean? So, and look, and I'm using the bathrobe analogy to build back from there.
Sure. Okay, so keep going. So you could do, you're at the gym, same concept.
Yeah, gym.
Right?
Gym is a great one. Anything in your real world, and is more real. The more real you can get, the better. The more
the
real.
kids throwing the food at you.
Yeah.
Right. Or
sharing your tragedies. Oh my gosh, every one of my kids has disobeyed me for the 1,000th time today. They hate me. Do your kids hate you? Tips? Anyone? Click and tape.
The video you did that time of your dog that took Audrey.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
yeah.
And think about this. Everything I'm talking about, does it sort of remind you of some YouTube influencer types, right? Like I'm taking that intelligence of the vlog, the VLOG, the vlog, the behind the scenes, the reason all of that is so popular and is right now the most powerful content online is because it has all of the ancient historic elements of trust built into it. My morning, me waking up. See, if I can know, if I'm in your bedroom, if I'm in your kitchen, if I'm doing life with you, and all the while I know what's in your bio. I know you're a real estate agent. You know, you don't have to remind me every day. You know, but now you're the one who's shown me where the wine is in town, where all the dog parks are.
Sure.
You've been the host. You've made me laugh. Man, when it's time to buy, like you're front of mind.
Right.
So what I'm talking about with Be Real is socializing. This is social by society. This is where my business came from. Socializing your brand and building the most valuable thing you can build to get referrals. Because this is the subcontext here is how to get referrals through your social media. You're going to get referrals. People are going to tell you about their, whatever your personality is, your wacky, zany host friend or your chill, subdued. I mean, maybe somebody's more like hip hop culture and they like to chill and ride at night, you know, and play hip hop music and, you know, just have that ambient thing. Like do that, like come all out with that. Let that be your thing. Don't try to be, you know, over the top with one character. What I'm saying is, you know, be the authentic you, but like put it on tilt. Like take the contrast up, take the saturation up.
Okay.
Come out.
So what else you got there?
Oh, you want number 3?
I do.
Are you ready for number 3? Is the question.
I got a little.
You've got
some data real quick before we get to number 3. A little graph. I guess who's not sharing this on their social media? Share it on a podcast where people want education.
Right.
Who are asking me now. And by the way, if you have a teacher brand.
Yeah.
Like you're a speaker, you're a public speaker or something, we're going to tweak some of this a little bit. You are going to show up more with actual teachings, maybe a snazzy intro or something, but keep it real basic, you know, not a minute long intro.
So like a real estate agent in my mind is an educator, right?
Sure.
I think my job is to educate, right? The consumer and the referral partner. So are you okay with the education?
Absolutely.
But in a row? What are we doing here? Like what do we got?
So absolutely. Yeah. And that's a great question. Absolutely. The education piece, that could almost be like a whole nother podcast because they're for someone who has that natural bent towards being an authority, a teacher, an educator. I mean, you guys are speaking into a microphone as we speak.
Sure.
So you guys all have that bent towards that. You can absolutely maximize on that. In fact, that's something I would probably design with you guys is actual conscious 3 ways. Like here's a video. 3 ways every real estate agent can dominate West Nashville. You know, 3 way or just pick your area. That would be a great 1 minute or less video that you dove right into from a teacher booth or something. It can look like teacher and authority. So yes, if that's on brand and that's in your brand voice, go all in.
I gotcha. Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool.
But don't forget the bathrobe.
Yeah. Never leave home without it.
Whatever we're gonna build back from.
Sure.
So if it's not full bathrobe for you, it's something, you know, take us to the beach or take us on vacation. Oh my gosh, so many real estate agents go on vacation and don't take their people with them. I want to come with you to the beach. You're a real estate agent. You love real estate.
Okay, so now here we go. We're going to have this discussion. So you're on vacation a lot. Do you work?
On vacation?
No, do you get what I'm saying? Like that's the flip. Like
What's the perception of the consumer?
right. Are you working? Are you taking care of my house? Like that's where I get, you know, the flip of that.
Another great question. Here's what we've concluded.
Okay.
Over here at Social by Society. What we've concluded is that lifestyle, influence, living the dream, being an example of the dream, absolutely performs. It is, you know, people are like, man, I don't want to get I don't want to roll around in a Ferrari because I don't want my clients to be like, oh, he's getting rich off me. You're charging the same percent all the other agents are charging. Your clients aren't worried about that. I think most clients, I mean, it also depends a little bit on the demographic. I mean, if you're going for the $130,000 property,
Sure.
maybe be conscious that none of your clients, they're all in pickup trucks or something. I mean, there's some reason and logic here, but mostly, I mean, in the hot Nashville market, I mean, people are attracted to, like, I want to do business with people who are clearly like with other like people that are doing high level business.
Perfect.
And when I see people succeeding and this can sound superficial, especially in the South. We've got some bad theology in the South. But it sounds like you're into material things or something like that. If you drive a nice car or have a Rolex watch, you're like, oh, what expense? But, there's intelligence behind that. What if a Rolex watch wasn't something some baller did to show off, but it was someone who loved timeless classic craftsmanship. And for him, that is an expression of him
Sure.
or her. That's what they love. They love their Lexus, et cetera. It's an expression. Once you see like wealth as art, it totally changes everything. I know I'm off topic now.
No,
but,
get back to number 3. I love it.
Well, so this quick thing, before we get to number 3 is, this is the data on why people are actually on social media.
Oh. Sure.
Think about that. Nobody even asks why people are on social media.
Right.
I was told I had to.
Yeah, exactly. You're just forced.
You want to be successful? Go there.
What do you guys think the number one, I'm covering my sheet. What do you guys think the number one reason people are on social media for?
Time killer.
Time killer?
Ego.
Nosy about what's going on in other people's
Well,
lives.
at least this is what they've reported. The number one is to stay in touch with friends.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's how they sold it at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay in touch with friends. And then, of course, following that, stay in touch with family. Second to friends, by the way, because we're already staying in touch with family with our cell phones. So friends is sort of like that second circle.
Sure.
From your core circle, your second perimeter circle. And so that second circle is social media. So guess what 0% of people report being on social media for? Nobody, no one
To
is
look at the ads.
No one is here for social media at all, ever in history has ever to be marketed to. And yet so many real estate agents, all they do is show up on their social media and market.
Right.
Market. And they're tuning you out. That's why your engagement is so low. That's why no one's commenting. Even your questions sometimes. Tell me what you think in the comments below. We know it's marketing. We know it's marketing instead of coming more credible, vulnerable, authentic. And that takes, by the way, you're not going to do this tomorrow. You're going to do this 2 years from now. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get to time, to number 3, which is about the time involved because it's a real relationship. So number 3 is play the long game.
Long game.
Yep. Number 1 was be the host. Number 2 was keep it real. Number 3 is play the long game. Mm-hmm. Okay. And here's
that's part of the foundation of that is being real, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, these all build on each other. Mm-hmm. So the long game, absolutely, because again, social media is a real friend. Mm-hmm. And social media rises and falls, works or doesn't work, just like real relationships work and don't work. You have to show up cool. Excuse me. You have to show up cool.
Yeah.
Coughing internally.
Water.
Is this water for me?
So, yeah, you've got to be cool, and you got to know that what you're doing today is going to pay off later, right? They're fine.
Well-
You got to get them to buy in, to first create enough curiosity, have the heads turn, right?
Sure.
Now you are the host. Now you've got an audience. Mm-hmm. Now you're technically entertaining that audience, right?
Yeah.
Is
And I mean, everyone's here we are now, entertain us. I mean, we're here to be entertained. We'll stop scrolling when we start laughing, for example. So anytime I can be funny on social media, it's actually one of the hardest things to do is to be funny, especially, when people know you're an agent, because everybody's already a little nervous that you're going to try to market to them. So that's another big point I want to make is as a real estate agent or, anything like this, where you're selling yourself and services, you're building from a deficit. People are already a little bit like, whoa, we know you want to list my house. Mm-hmm. And to just admit that and to be conscious of that is okay, because then it helps us to know what we need to do to move forward. And so number 3 with play the long game is just like we would all build a relationship together. You guys are going to trust me. I got to know you like 10 years. Like I'm harder to build trust with. Because of my childhood, my experiences, my past. I was raised in the wilds of Memphis. It takes a while to build trust with me where I'm like, all right, man, this person will die for me, I'll die for them. But, it gets back to my Cheese Whiz point, which I don't really believe is Cheese Whiz. I'm just being,
Cheesy.
respectful. I'm just being cheesy, sleazy. Is that it's love. Like, if you know somebody loves you, you'll do it. You'll give them anything.
Mm-hmm.
You give them anything they want because they love me. They don't need anything from me. If they're trying to get me a house, they're trying to get me a house and the perfect house for me. So the long game is as follows. At one point, once upon a time, I started posting on and taking my social media seriously, believing that it could matter. But for 2 years, I got 0 results other than people liking my content, commenting, engaging with me. No sales, certainly no opportunities came out of it. So no results in my bank account. And I enjoy long romantic walks to the bank. I don't know if you guys do. I also like the beach, but the bank first. And so 2 years of me thinking like, dude, I'm like a teenager, like sharing my content and documenting my life. And it felt miserable. But right around the 2-year mark, my partner of my dreams, who was working at a very high level for celebrities and in marketing, makes me an offer to launch a business together. I tripled my income. Triple. I mean, that was a big deal for me. And from that point, from the 2-year mark forward, attention started happening. People started believing that I was who I said I was because I had been it consistently for so many years. And I see so many friends online. They're a real estate agent and a musician and a songwriter, and they work at the bank, and they...
Who are you really?
Yeah, and they have these craft bowling balls that they make on the side. And I'm just like, I want an expert. I want to believe in who I'm hiring. And then I've got another, like an agent friend of mine, who shows up constantly, Nashville cityscapes behind him, high-rise baller overlooking the city, apartment lofts. When the Virgin Hotel opened, guess who was there? Mr. Key to the City, Nashville real estate agent. Being like, guys, grand opening of the Virgin Hotels. Be a big host and do that, or come in real chill and be low key about it and have a little party with just you and your friends there. I mean,
you're not going to ask the person you just meet to get married, right?
That's it.
Right.
Yeah,
so there's a dating process, right? Yeah. And so you have to be comfortable with the idea that you're throwing stuff out there to just create some interest. And you want to date? I'm not sure yet, right? Like we're throwing more out there, do you like what you see type of thing, right? So that's the same concept. So the folks that are listening, again, we are looking to be a host. We're looking to be real, and we got to have the time to do it, right? So, how much time are we doing this daily? How many times am I posting?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's as if you're reading my notes.
I'm blind, so I'm not actually.
Yeah, no, I didn't think you were, but it's perfectly in time because so trust and credibility are not built quickly, and the next thing I was going to share is to have a monthly content plan.
Okay.
Something sustainable that you can deliver month in and month out without fail. So if we are talking algorithms, the algos do not like it when you're posting 5 days a week and then no days a week, and then 3 days and then 2 off and then once and then just sporadic. These things are dumb robots. Everybody thinks the bot is going to take over the world. They're just doing what they're told. They're just doing their best. And the way to really build momentum is to be...
I like that word, momentum.
You got to build... social media is all about momentum. As in a relationship, it's momentum. You stop talking to people, you sort of lose touch. So same thing on your socials. You want to build a content schedule. It needs to be, and I would start small, something that can happen. For our clients, we can do for a restaurant a month's worth of content in 3 hours. Now we go home and edit that. It takes a little longer, but they show up for 3 hours. For an agent, we can shoot. We call it a month's worth of content, but it may look like 7 to 15 videos, depending on length, in about the same amount of time, 3 to 4 hours. If you're doing it yourself with your cell phone, I would set a day a month, and that from 10 a.m. to lunch, you are just creating content, and that content is going to be according to what we do a pre-shoot checklist, kind of like a goal sheet.
Okay.
In the film industry, that's a pre-production email, that goes out and it's like, here's what's happening, here's where it's happening, here's when it's happening, here's what we're going to have on the camera, here's what you're going to say, here's who's going to be next. And if you're starting small, make sure you can do a doable that you execute it on your shoot date. And then I would still do more content, but now that you've got your core content already shot, when you're out at the restaurant, when you're jumping out of the shower, whatever it is, keep that in the moment stuff. But maybe for your stories, something that, now some stuff, if it's really good, let it live on your wall forever, but a lot of stuff where it's just real low quality, low res, I'll just put it up in my stories on Instagram. And I also make sure it copies over to Facebook. Your Instagram and Facebook need to be linked so that when you post on Instagram, it automatically goes to Facebook. There are software platforms that if you want to post to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of your socials all at once, worth the investment. But I want people to start small with what they can do without spending money.
So if you're too heavy, I'm a real estate agent, so I'm too heavy all about the house, you're going to lose me. And then if you're too heavy all about me, you're going to lose your audience, right? So it needs to be a sprinkle, I would assume, right? Of a rotation. That's kind of what I've learned, which I think is cool. Do you have in your mind, do you educate on that rotation? Is it like bam, 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 you're punching?
Do you mean examples of content?
Yeah.
Like what it could look like?
Yeah. Where you're just random, ask for the sale,
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. What's the ratio? Yeah. So, when we first started, it was 90-10. I'm feeling more like 99-1 at this point, just because I'm seeing what performs. And what I would say is, let me ask you this: you guys, I'm actually not an agent. You guys are real estate agents. How often do you find asking for the sale gets you a sale? I'm sure it happens, but like, how often would you say?
Jason? What do you think?
On your social media specifically. How many times have you asked for a sale
or on social media?
I don't think I ever have.
Yeah, no.
That's interesting data, right? It's data we should, not now, I'm not telling you to write, but it's data we should mentally at least write down. Hey, asking for sales rarely gets a sale. So again, it's a
byproduct of the other.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, like for me, I have a book that's for sale. I didn't talk about my book for 8 months and then went, man, I should say something about my book. Meanwhile, my books were selling. They were selling the whole time because I'm teaching concepts from the book. My book's called WIYC, which stands for What If You Could? And so I would just get on social media and be like, dude, what if you could do this? Like, what if you stopped thinking of it this way and thought of it this way and then you accomplish that?
Yeah.
So people are going and buying my book. I never talk about my book. I didn't say, what I wrote in my book was, no, I just want to be a friend.
Danny, before we run out of time, tell us how we can get a hold of you, how our listeners can reach out to you.
I love to connect on social media. My Instagram is, of course, at Social by Society.
Social by Society.
Yeah, not Society by Social.
No.
Social by Society. I actually called it wrong for like the first month of my own business. I told people it was Society by Social. Social by Society. Same thing on Facebook and everything, but most of the activity, we actually just launched our Instagram, so it's a baby Instagram account. It's brand new. I also love to connect personally on my personal. I share a lot more of my acting and hosting stuff. It's at Danny Valdez, and Valdez is spelt with an S. It's spelled, not spelt. Thank you, wife, for teaching me grammar, teaching a Memphis kid grammar.
Love it. Hey, I took lots of notes.
Yeah, that's great information.
This is a huge part of my business. And when somebody was able to just open my eyes to it, it opened up the opportunities to help so many more families. So for those folks out there, definitely take what you learned, keep it simple, get out there, be a host. Understand it's going to take some time, and then be real, right? And then Monty's going to be in a robe come Monday, so be on the lookout. We can't wait. Hey, thanks so much for joining us.
Great.
Thanks, Danny, for being here. Such a pleasure.
And
we will see you next time. You've been listening to The Talk of Music City Real Estate.